Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's Jose here, welcoming you to another episode of Amazing Worlds. Today, not sponsored by, in my best French, secret de moi. I don't know what that means, secret of something. Anyway, it's a French triple beer. So, let's pour and I'll get into the review in a minute. That is not bad, but I think I should have tried to pour it with a bit more head. But anyway, let's give it a try. Ooh, punchy, just as I like it. Anyway, so what I've got for you today is Dresden Files book number 3 by Jim Butcher, Grave Peril. Book 3 in the Dresden Files, I believe there's about 15 books already. Jim Butcher, American author known for his Codex Alira fantasy series, but I think what he's hit the big time is with the Dresden Files. I did a double review of books 1 and 2, so if you haven't done that, please check it out. Dresden Files very much has got the feel of a 30s, 40s crime noir novel. I mentioned this already in the other video. Dashiell Hammett, Sam Spade type thing. Earl Stanley Garner, Perry Mason, Private Gumshoe trying to solve crimes, helping the proverbial damsel in distress, with the caveat, with the twist, that Harry Dresden, our main protagonist, is the only wizard in modern day Chicago. And so we are thrust into this world of wizard, werewolves, vampires, ghosts, and so on. In book 3, I'm very happy to have seen a slightly different approach from books 1 and 2. I was a little bit critical because books 1 and 2 felt a little bit formulaic. So the sort of overall pattern of the resolution of the crime, of the crime of the day, crime of the week type thing was a bit formulaic, and I expressed my concerns that I didn't want to see that repeated in the subsequent books, and I'm happy to say that that is not the case. So we have a slightly different way to go about things. So in here, Harry is not dependent on Bob the ghost that inhabits an empty human skull in his laboratory to tell him what to do, or to do some pact with some entity from a different plane of existence in exchange for something to tell him who the killer is, where to find them, what to do. So that is a positive for me. Here, what we have in this story is that the sort of the border, the crossing, the barrier between the Never Never, which is a bit of a silly name, what they call where all the ghosts and the spirits live, and Earth. So that barrier, that membrane, has grown very thin, and ghosts are very easily coming into the real world. And Harry goes on to save the day. I mean, automatically on page 1, we are thrown into it. Harry is there, going to a maternity ward in a hospital to save newborn babies because a ghost is doing ghosty stuff in there. So that's great, like the pace of the book does not stop, and it's go, go, go from page 1. And I'm not going to spoil the plot anymore. Suffice to say that it ends in a little bit of a, not quite a cliffhanger, but a, oh my god, what's going to happen? Because here we are thrust more into the world of the vampire covens that supposedly inhabit the world, and how they may end up being at loggerheads or at war with the Wizards' Council because of Harry's actions in this novel. I had to do a bit of a double take, actually, because this time round, Harry Dresden has got a well, not quite a sidekick, but a fellow man-at-arms. So I don't know where he came from. I don't know, because it's not mentioned in books 1 and 2, and all of a sudden, Saint Michael, pretty much is what it is there to help Harry. So Michael is a knight. He carries a sword, and he's got divine power that we infer directly from God to fight evil. He wears the cross. He's some sort of divine channeler of good, which makes the world grow even more. So not only are we dealing with magic, not only are we dealing with werewolves, not only are we dealing with vampires, not only are we dealing with demons from different dimensions, but we are also dealing with the supernatural powers of God, of godlike creatures. So everything that we may have encountered in folklore and early European fantasy literature has got a place in the world of the Dresden Files. And I don't know if this is getting a little bit too convoluted now, because I think it would have been easier to accept vampires, werewolves, ghosts, but apart from God, not because how does that fit into the creation of the world? And if there are divine knights that can wield powerful magical swords, how does wizardry fit into all this? I suspect, perhaps, maybe we will find out in subsequent novels. I mean, I've only just metaphorically dipped my toes into the world of the Dresden Files. I've only read the first 3 novels, and there's about, 12, 13, 14, 15, something like that. So, I'm wondering, I'm just musing here, and please, if you've read the Dresden Files, don't tell me how that fits in, because I'm hoping bit by bit, little by little, to make my way through. I think they're very nice books to read in between chunkier series. Again, slight caveat, a slight issue I've got with Dresden Files is that it seems to be a bit of a theme again. In every novel, towards the end, Harry is completely beaten, he is exhausted, he's spent, all his energy is gone, but still he manages to make the one final spell, the one final burst of energy, the one final push forward to save the day. And it feels a little bit Deus Ex Machina-y, a bit. All of a sudden, Harry's completely beaten, he's spent, and all of a sudden he can channel all this magic and blow up a castle in flames and kill everyone in there. And why can't he do that? Why all of a sudden? Why can he always do the unthinkable, the incredible, the amazing, what no one has ever done before? When the plot moment needs it, Harry can do it. And it feels a bit of a cheat. I wish Jim Butcher gave us a slightly more solid framework in which the magic of the Dresden Files functions and operates. Because it feels a little bit like Harry can do whatever he needs when he needs it. And like I said, it feels a bit of a cheat. Who would have thought I would be saying this? But I wish the magic system in Dresden Files was a little bit harder, was a little bit more rigid, that we as readers could understand better what our main protagonists can and cannot do, and therefore not feel like, oh, everything's going to be fine because Harry will eventually pull the proverbial rabbit out of the hat and save the day. Having said all of that, the books are enjoyable. This one, just like the first 2, there are slight comedy relief moments which are enjoyable, and they do not detract at all from the story, and they actually add character to the series and to the writing style. And you, the more you read them, the more you feel familiar with the setting, with the protagonist, with the characters, with the world, and you feel a bit more of an emotional investment there. Now, talking to some colleagues at work, they mentioned to me a similar sounding series to Dresden Files called Sandman Slim. Never heard of it before, but apparently it's also got another 10, 12, 13 books out there. And Sandman Slim apparently deals with some angel wizard thing that accidentally was sent to hell for 100 years, and now he's come back into the real world and is trying to exact revenge on the people that sent it there. So sounds similarly-ish in that sort of vein of the wizard / paranormal investigator. And I didn't know, maybe I should have mentioned that when I did my video review on paranormal investigators a few weeks ago. As usual, check it out please if you haven't done so. But anyway, so for the comment section today, if you care to leave a comment, I always welcome and appreciate them. So my two questions are: how does God fit into the general overall world narrative of the Dresden Files? And have you read Sandman Slim? Is it anything at all like Dresden Files? Is it not? Is it recommendable? Please let me know. And that's really all I've got to say today. I don't want to extend myself. I don't want to make this any longer than it needs to be. Please, 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 as usual, like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. Let me know what you know about this. As usual, please take loads of care. Thank you ever so much for watching. I appreciate all the comments. I appreciate all the subscriptions. Really enjoying this. And I'll see you next time. Bye.